Hi, Manmohanji.
Hi, Nikhil. Yes, hi,
Hi.
Nikhil. Good
It's
afternoon.
great that you joined us today. And as we get started, I would like to welcome everybody today. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 16th episode of MSME Masterclass series. And today's session is particularly exciting as the current era is all talking about AI and robotics. We want to be talking about it too. As we explore today, building the future of manufacturing infrastructure space with robotics and AI. To guide us through this futuristic landscape, we are honored to have Mr. Manmohan Krishan from the country head of Brokk Global in India as our esteemed speaker. Mr. Kishan stands at the forefront of innovation in construction and demolition sector. Under his leadership, Brokk Global has carved a niche in the industry, employing groundbreaking robotics solutions to tackle complex projects across steel, cement, construction, tunneling, and mining. As we dwell into today's session, we anticipate a compelling discussion on the synergy between advanced technology and human expertise. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Manmohan Krishan to our masterclass. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil, and thank you to everyone present in the class. So it is indeed a pleasure for me to be a part of this beautiful journey with JSW, and I really appreciate this kind of sessions where it is a knowledge sharing session for people from various industries, from various segments, sectors, and of course regions as well, to experience and see how the technology is moving and how India can progress using these very innovative and the best solutions so far.
Pleasure is all mine, and I wish the audience will be able to pick up a lot from you, Mr. Krishanji. So let's get started, Mr. Manmohan. Could you maybe please share with us your journey in the field of robotics and how did you come to this current role in leading Brokk Global in India?
Yes. So I'm basically a mechanical engineer by qualification. So I did my engineering from Mumbai University and passed out in 2004. And since then, I've been associated with various industries, right from water treatment to the construction segment. So in the construction sector, I've been now associated with for more than now 17 plus years. And I've seen the construction segment and the sector per se very closely, how it has evolved from being a labor-oriented sector to moving into a sector where now companies are getting involved in automation and mechanization, especially after the COVID. Uh, so the dependency on manpower has made them realize that something like this, if all happens again, so they better be prepared with the mechanization. So that's how it has been. And my previous roles have been more into demolition sector, building, concrete demolition, structure demolitions, and all. So even I see a lot of progress and a lot of innovation happening into this segment as well, where silent, something like a silent demolition, something like a vibration-free demolition, and all of getting a structure down without even making a noise or vibration, without your neighbors knowing that this building is going to be raised out in no time. So that's how this journey is, and I see the Indian sector accepting this technology and moving ahead.
That's inspiring, Manmohan Singh. Trying to see you can deal with an unpenetrated market of demolition and construction space, introducing robotics of the larger scale. So now that you've talked about certain aspect of the robotics that you've involved, could you maybe elaborate on some of the cutting edge technologies in this robotics in demolition and construction that your company has developed that you have introduced here and how they're utilized?
Exactly. Yes. So Brokk were the innovators into developing these robots, especially for demolition. So when I say demolition, demolition could be in a lot of industries, a lot of segments, a lot of sectors, not just only in construction. So we specialize in demolition in the steel and cement segment as well. So steel and cement manufacturers use a lot of our robots, which are used during their shutdown time to reduce the shutdown time. Earlier days, these all shutdowns were being done manually by people entering and doing the breaking of all these slags and all. But then now with these robots, with these special equipment, they can really reduce the downtime of their shutdown. So for a manufacturing facility, even a single day of shutdown saved is revenue generating, a big revenue for them. So that is how the acceptance in this segment happened. Now this is about a manufacturing facility. Now let's talk about tunneling. So we see a lot of tunneling jobs happening. We see in and out in the new channels, a lot of new tunnels being inaugurated, a lot of new tunnels being built. There are metro tunnels being built all across the nation. So to fasten up the process of tunneling, these robots really help the contractors achieve more productivity, do jobs faster, and complete the jobs well ahead of time. So that's about tunneling. Same thing with mining. Then in construction segment, again, construction used to be a very uh, you know slow industry. Where a lot of labor, a lot of manpower was being utilized, and a lot of repetitive jobs were being done using these laborers. Now, with the use of these innovative machines and all, one machine can do a job which is equivalent to 20 people. So that's the rough conversion, and that's how it is used.
I understand, sir. As you know, it's the robots are helping, improve on decrease the downtime and improve on manpower usage. Just wanted to understand, sir, that in such kind of spaces, how do you believe that these robotics and even maybe integration of AI as transforming the traditional practices in the infrastructure and the manufacturing space? What changes have you been observing so that you're at the very forefront of this?
Yes, that's a very uh, intelligent question, I would say, because yes, we hear a lot of AI being involved into uh, the private sector, into the IT sector and all. So even the machines are not being forgotten. So they are also getting into this intelligence feature. Say, for instance, our machines now are being developed from the intelligence point of view. Um, See, these machines are, after all, being controlled by some operator who will be operating this machine and doing that job. But then, what if the operator is not a technically skilled operator to understand what and how to operate a machine, how to get the maximum out of a machine? So we have integrated, the few uh, electronics which are intelligent enough to take their own individual calls and to ensure that the machine is performing as per the application or a job which is to be done where an operator is not able to perform it nicely. After all, these are whenever it comes to robotics, it is a big cost involved. And no investor would like to have something which is not being utilized to the maximum best possibility. So they would really like to get squeeze out the best power out of the machine. And these intelligent features are being evolved, especially for our kind of equipment. It was not there, I would say, for 10 years back. But then, yes, as the market scenario changes, as the customers get more and more demanding, their applications are demanding and varying. So we also need to get ourselves evolved on those lines. And something like beautiful sensors inside the machine, which controls the hydraulics or the oil pressures or the temperatures and all, and ensure that even if there is a manual error or a human error, the machine is able to take some calls on its own, and it ensures that the machine is performing.
I understand that as the machine is able to learn, I believe that the margin of error on any kind of incidents can, drastically decrease. And as we're talking about the current observations, what do you believe are like the current trends in the robotics and AI space that you find very exciting in this sectors, manufacturing and infrastructure? What are the very exciting aspects of it?
See, when it comes to construction, every job is a very different job. You need to customize things as per the need of the job. Say when it is tunneling, so you have some of the bigger robots doing some very big rock drilling or rock excavation, which will happen. So that's something which is a big machine which can do. And when we move into a steel and cement segment, so there the, the game changes because it's not big what you want. It is a smaller robot which is very confined, and a smaller thing which can enter into a very confined space and to very high temperatures. Where in a steel plant you would see temperatures in a furnace or something which is almost like 400, 500 degree. So just imagine, I mean, this is not possible with a human involvement. So these machines then get into those kind of high risk zones and get the jobs done. So that's how the scenarios and the machines have been involved, and continue to get better and better as the year passes. So that's the beauty of these demolition equipments.
That's very exciting, as robots can take more risk than humans in certain aspects in the manufacturing space or in the infrastructure space. That's way, we can mitigate any kind of unforeseen risks at the life of human. So as such, we are discussing such kind of challenges. What do you think are additionally the big challenges faced in maybe integrating robotics into this sector, be it related to manpower or be it related to resistance, maybe inertia on adoption? What do you feel are like the biggest challenges, and maybe what is also Brokk Global also doing maybe to address these kind of challenges? Could you elaborate on this?
Yes, if you really ask me the challenges, yes, of course, challenges exist. Now, we see the nation growing and the demand working. So the demand versus supply is also something which is significant. Uh, as I earlier also told that these are expensive equipments. So the initial cost itself is something which is going to be prevalent and need to be accepted, because this is something you are considering vis-a-vis a manual labor job. So we are very aware of the low labor costs in India which is available. But then yes, the initial cost something is there. Then having the adequate skilled manpower, that is also something of a challenge, because yes, you need someone who could understand some basic electrical, some basic mechanical and hydraulics, to understand the dynamics of the equipment. So that again is something which is of a challenge. Training is equally important. We need to repeatedly train people. That's where Brokk specializes, where we do have training sessions for various kind of skill development, various operators, because these operators are not very fixed operators. They keep on changing. So a new operator doesn't understand and unnecessarily has a bad name on the machine. So we need to ensure that they are being trained and brought up to the mark for the things. So that's something which is which I would probably say are few of the major challenges, and integrating these robots into various segments, whether it is construction, steel, cement, or something. Now, I remember when we introduced it in steel, so we had our own set of challenges, manually it is being done. What do we do about the people and all? But now, since the last 15, 20 years, we have seen this being developed, and the customer accepting this technology, because they realize that yes, one, it is much safer, second, it is faster. So it is a win-win situation for the customer then.
I think those two are very important: the safety and how quickly a job can be done with the help of improvement. As we're talking about the improvement of the in these sectors, what do you believe is the future looks like as we are looking at building this future? What would be the future of robotics and AI in infrastructure and manufacturing space? What do you think? Where is this heading in the next 5-10 years? Where is it heading globally, and where is it heading in India? What do you believe the
Uh,
changes might arise?
yes, see, globally, you have the developed nations who have really accepted these technologies and are been relying on this technology since long. And yes, India is not too far from them as well, because of the scale of the development, whether it is infrastructure. So if you need to improve, it is well known that an economy of a nation improves when you have the correct infrastructure at place. So with infrastructure development, you have these new innovative projects being built up everywhere: roads, bridges, railways, airports being built and to the advanced levels. So when you have this much of scale happening everywhere, so you need to support that. And with the previous technology in use, so there will always be that gap of supply versus demand. So the next best and the best suited thing is to adopt to the new innovative technologies, have these robotic and in place. So it is equally important for every industry. I would say, and I have experienced that. And having said about the construction itself, now the biggest of projects are being done with the biggest of mechanizations. Earlier, the tunnels were drilled using the conventional things. Now we have the tunnel boring machines and all, which can do a wonderful tunnel job without any major loss, and quickly being done and covered up. So that's just how this is being converted and being done all across them.
Thank you for explaining that. I think that's how we'll look at the future. So, on the topic on the rise of in the future, how do you think the rise of robotics and AI will impact workforce, work culture in these sectors? And what do you believe might be the skills which might be in high demand after the mass adoption of robotics and AI in the manufacturing and infrastructure space?
Yes, there is always this question mark on every individual, where whenever you hear AI or an introduction of AI into this, so there's always that big question mark of what happens next to me, where am I going, or what is the future for me now, because everything is being taken over. But then that's not the case. Uh, People are still being required and will be done. It is, oh no, it will lead to job transformation. So it's something which is being developed, and people have to accept this. People have to move along with it, and they have to evolve themselves. After all, it's being developed by none other than people. So focusing on technological skills, there are a lot of repetitive tasks and all. But then with these things, you can reduce these repetitive tasks and get on with the job very quickly. As I said, that productivity is something which is a question mark on in every field. So that is how these things help. So it's about workforce evolution, upskilling, and adapting to new roles in an automated environment.
Absolutely. With such kind of rise of, maybe conflict of thought or interests, like, as we're talking about, workforce which might have to reshuffle their skill sets to grow or either get crushed over the revolution. What do you think
Yeah.
maybe might be like, on the similar lines of humanity, if you're talking about, what do you think are the ethical consideration companies should keep in mind when integrating AI and robotics into their operations, which can maybe massively change the whole scale of operation, might change the way the workforce interacts with the business in itself. What do you think might have to be like an ethical consideration which companies might have to be careful about?
See, the first and foremost, I believe is every every industry has a big emphasis on safety, having a safe work culture on this. So whether it is a manufacturing or a construction segment or something, everyone wants safe practices to be followed in every field. There is no manpower loss happening, no repetitive things being done time and again. No, that leads to a lot of revenue loss into different fields and things like that. So the safety is something which is there. Anything which is too hot, too cold, too dangerous to happen. So our robots now are also being considered for a lot of disaster management authorities and disaster relief forces, where these robots can be used for a lot of relief activities in landslide prone areas where the human intervention becomes very difficult. People find it difficult to enter a zone which is where there is a collapsed building, so it is still vulnerable to further collapse or create some more disaster. So these are a few things which probably any segment, every sector needs to consider. So first and foremost, yes, safety is something which uh, we all probably, my personal belief is that they should be following up.
Understandable as safety and ethical concerns can come over. Maybe people are, this kind of questions I think more commonly arise because people are too influenced by fiction, I guess. But other side from
I,
the
I
ethical.
would I would really like to share some really interesting videos of how these robots actually work in very danger conditions and how they have improved. I mean, if the audience and the people are eager to see that, so I would really like to showcase and
Absolutely.
show that.
Absolutely. I think our audience would be excited to see operations of certain aspects of robots that we have been discussing, like a real life examples, if you may, sir. If
Exactly,
you...
yes. So what probably I would like to show is a robot working inside a steel plant. So how these robots actually work in those very danger areas and all,
Mm-hmm.
and getting things done for the people. Yes. Just allow me
Absolutely.
to share the video then.
Absolutely, sir. Please do share
Yes.
the video.
Yeah.
was exciting to see, various Brokk robots working in the various aspects of the steel manufacturing plant, from which really helps show how, people can, workers can manage at a safer distance, reduce risk, and make sure there is a larger precision of work. And as such, you have already shown these videos. Could you maybe like share like a real life success story around this, or a case study where this implementation of these robotics have significantly improved an outcome, a process or an outcome for someone?
Yes, there are a lot of places where these have been successfully deployed. I mean, in India, if we speak, almost all the major steel plants have their own robots, the Brokk robots, being utilized for these kind of very dangerous and heavy jobs. And I also mentioned about rescue operations and all. So yes, the biggest operation we carried out was the Fukushima nuclear power disaster in 2011 for during the tsunami in Japan, where the nuclear reactor faced damage, and where these robots could enter into those high radioactive zone and take out a lot of things which was not even possible by a human or deployment of people over there, because of the various radiations which were already existing, and the damage which has happened. So our robots could successfully contain and clear off the areas. So that was something which was a big thing. Even in nuclear power plants, these robots enter into the zones where there is a high level of radioactivity, which is there, and it is not possible for humans to enter. So they can go and carry out big jobs and all. So that's something uh, which is done. Tunnels, a lot of tunneling jobs. Now we have few incidences of tunnel collapses which happened, which made headlines globally, I believe, and people would see that. Suppose that there have been a lot of contractors and people who are eager to deploy these robots into these high-risk zone areas where these can go and do a job safely, and people are safe at a distance, because when it is in tunnels, so it is something which is a natural earth pressure, water pressure, and all. You cannot predict what's going to come. So when we have a robot working at a safe distance, so your people are safely doing the job, and anything untowards happening or something, you have sufficient time to react and save people on time then.
Thanks for sharing the example. Really shows where situations where humans can't reach, maybe in a disastrous situations or nuclear situations, or where people, it's better if we send out a machine instead of a man to get the job done. Really shows the wide aspect of applications that we can have in our day-to-day life in robotics. I guess that mostly covers most of my questions I have. This is one last question as I want to ask you, as like
Yeah.
more than just from a Brock's perspective, but as a businessman, as a leader. What advice would you want to give to young professionals or students who are interested in pursuing such career in, manufacturing, robotics, AI, particularly in these industries? What do you believe that they should follow? And if you have any mantra that they could also follow, it would be great advice.
Yes, I mean, you need to have that knowing, and the acceptance that yes, there is big scope. Gone are the days where anything which was robotic was out of India, and now there are companies building up these robots within the country, and yes, there is a huge scope. There is a huge opportunity. The investments, yes, are on a higher side. Then yes, with a special focus on some niche applications or something like that. Yes, there are really people waiting out for such equipments to come and do the jobs for them, because after all, the demand is so high, but it needs to be done. And with these special innovative solutions and all, you are able to meet the demands and generate revenue.
Thank you, sir. I think I'm sure the advice will be taken by the young professionals who are in part of the session. As I come to the end of my questions, I wanted to cover, actually, we can start with Q&A and cover a couple of questions which came before the session started. I got in before the registration, but I
Okay.
believe there's a couple of curious audience who have a couple of questions who want to be answered. So we can start picking from there. We have
Okay.
Mr. Himanshu Sharma from Sharma Engineering. Can you discuss the expected ROI for integrating robotics into manufacturing and construction process? I believe he wants to know with the initial investment on purchasing such robots, when can how can we expect, or when can we expect an ROI on return? I think this is a very general question, but I want to know your opinion on it.
See, as I said, it is the initial costs are quite heavy and high. But then, yes, there are very few solution providers for this. So the demand is big, and the supply is less at this point of time, because not every manufacturing facility would like to have these robots at their end. So they would probably like to have something like a rental option, or people coming in with the machine and doing a job for them, and then moving out. So it's a in-out taxi kind of a job. So that is something which is a big scope. So a return on investment is somewhere close around, say around 3.5 years is something which any investor or a business person into this probably could eye and expect this thing to happen.
Hmm. Understand, Understandable. But as you were talking about, renting, wouldn't that kind of be like a more on overall a big picture perspective? Someone who's like, maybe manufacturing for over a past decade and such, and wanted to integrate, wouldn't renting be a more expensive alternative in a bigger picture?
Yeah, it depends on the kind of scale and kind of manufacturing plant you have. So a bigger steel plant, it obviously makes much uh, better option and easier for them to to buy their own equipment and do the job, because the shutdowns will be more frequent for them, and they would need to do that. But uh, India is such a beautiful country now that you have every kind of customer base for everyone. So if you have the bigger ones, so you even have the equal important smaller ones as well, who probably could not invest on an equipment at their own end, because one is of course the initial cost, the investment which is there, and the need is also not that big for them at this point. Maybe yes, once they grow and get up to that scale, that makes sense. But then, yes, there are equal number of those smaller plants who probably need it to be rented out, and that's where the rental agencies and the rental partners really help them in getting the kind of job done. And it's a 4 5 day shutdown job, and where they can easily get the job done. You have an operator who is trained, who comes along with the machine, does it for them. So it's not a big headache for them also to to maintain the operators and to ensure that everything is perfect and all. So that really helps them.
Thank you for the answer, Manmohan. I hope that answers Himanshu Sharma's question. The next question is from Mr. Mahesh. In the light of ever increasing robotics and AI which is involved, what strategies should business adapt to ensure the workforce is equipped with the necessary skills for the future? I think it's more like an additional question on that aspect of what skills employees should have. Right now, this question is what business should do to ensure the employees are well equipped with the right skills.
Yes, I mean, of course, there are a lot of disclaimers when we supply with the machine and all. So yes, ensuring that there are technically skilled people who are trained and able to operate and could understand, as I said, I could understand the basics of electricals, basics of hydraulics and all. So that is something which is important for everyone to ensure that for the long run of the machine, it is required for the businesses to have people on those, and that's where Brokk ensures that they train the operators time and again and ensure that yes, they could be well equipped because our machines undergo a lot of new changes, a lot of new developments happen. So we need to ensure that the main person who is there with the machine also knows that it's not just only to the senior management level where they are aware of what has been done to the machine, and the operator isn't aware of what's being done onto the machine, and he's not even aware of that. So they need to be trained on time then.
I think that hopes answers Mr. Mahesh's question. We have another question. I think this is more of a on startup and investment level. From Mr. Vaibhav Gupta from Gupta ECs. Hello, Mr. Kishan. Thanks for all the insights. The session was very informative. As a startup interested in entering the robotics and AI industry, it seems like a big and risky investment. How should they start out with their research, and what are the initial steps? Do you have any mantra or key advice that worked out for you when you entered the space?
Yes, see, we had a much bigger challenge, introducing this concept to the industry because the industry at that time was not even prepared for this change or shift. They have never experienced this. They have never seen like something like this, which could ease out the job. So yes, for anyone who needs to enter, they need to probably understand the challenges within that segment and sector to come up with a solution. And when you have a perfect solution for anyone, nobody dares saying no to you then, because yes, you are bringing some value to their output. And yes, there will be ifs and buts. There will be a lot of questions. There will be then when you have the right product for the right application, that's how it makes things better for everyone. And as a sensible businessman, I don't think anyone probably would refrain from getting more productivity, getting more output for any manufacturing, if that helps with an initial investment. So yes, it is something which is there. Need to understand the segment. That's what my recommendation to anyone would be, that understand the application, understand what are the current challenges, and then suggesting a solution.
Absolutely. I think that answers Mr. Vaibhav's question. So I think covered here. We covered the questions. I think from here live. There are a couple of questions I actually been trying to ask, which have come before. Okay, there's a question from Mr. Adi Selvan. I think from Tide Fasteners, Good Tide Fasteners Company. Explain how robotics may apply in the manufacturing of cold forging fasteners industry. I think it's very
Okay.
specific to their industry. They want to know.
Okay. So fasteners. I mean, currently, my expertise is not in the fastening, but then yes, my previous experience in the anchoring and the fastening industry, yes, has shown that robots can significantly enhance your cold forging process, right from material handling to precise and consistent forging operations. That is, which is of importance. And your quality control is improved. You have a very consistent output of your product, so that also gives you an edge over your other competitors and all. And when we speak about the finishing stages, the same robotics can efficiently handle right from threading to coating, cleaning, that's something which is helpful to the supplier. So I would probably suggest them that yes, a lot of automated packaging systems, palletizing. So these are really helpful things for them.
Absolutely. So thank you. I think that probably answers Selvan's question. Next, sir, how cost effective is it to use robotics and AI in smaller manufacturing units, smaller manufacturing places, and what might be the main benefits out of it?
So, see, as I've already, I think this is very similar to the question which was there. So, yes, so the initial investment, of course, that is there and for smaller units, as I've already told that rentals is a big changeover. But then it is cost effective for smaller units. It is effective over time. Your benefits would increase the efficiency. That would be a big thing for them. Higher precision, wastage reduction is something which is of importance. So everything sums up to be a successful business with the use of these robots.
Absolutely. I think that kind of answers the question. I think I have one more question at the end of mine. I guess last question to ask from my end. With it's kind of similar to the few workforce questions where the increase in robotics space and all. How do you think it will impact manufacturing infrastructure job market, the job opportunities in this space? How will it change? What might be the trends in this market?
Yes, I mean, when we speak of robots and automation and all, so it has been long in the manufacturing segment where the industry has accepted this technology and they've been using. You look at the automobile manufacturing and all major plants, whether an Indian brand or an international brand, they're all automated. So they have seen an increase in productivity, an increase in the quality, precision. Their wastages have reduced to an extent which were being done using manual and all. So of course, automation will transform job role. That is for sure. Uh, it would involve people focusing on their technological skills, learning the art, you know, uh, you know, repetitive tasks being reduced to almost zero, and you have something which is more productive. So it's more about evolution. It is more about upskilling, and that's how it will impact and it will help the sector overall, whether it is a manufacturing sector, whether it is a construction sector, or any sector. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for answering all our questions today. It's kind of enlightening that you talked about the whole journey of yours in Brokk Global and the whole aspect of robotics and AI in the industry. It's been a great conversation today, sir, and thank you for joining me today on MSM Masterclass episode 16. I would like to thank Mr. Manmohan Krishan ji for leading us through all of this insightful journey on robotics and AI and how it's transforming the manufacturing, construction, infrastructure, and the demolition space primarily. To all our audience, thank you for creating an engaging and a curious session. We trust that you will be walking away with the strategic insights provided from Mr. Manmohan and forward thinking approaches to integrate into your own businesses. Wish everyone have a good day. Join you on our next masterclass and wish everyone a advance happy Republic Day.
Thank you, Nikhil, and thank you to JSW, and my best wishes to everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah.